The Asghar who was on radio was most shrilly in terms of the voice. Hello, mera naam Asghar bolko, kaise hain tumhe? It was that voice. But when I spoke with the director, I remember giving him options of just voices. And he said, Danny, the thing is for 2 hours now, 1 hour, 45, 50 minutes, whatever the length of the film is. He said, if you do this shrill voice, people are not going to be able to hear it carefully. So why, it's going to be hard on the ears. Why don't you give me a different version? So I used to do another character on radio called Salim, who had the more nasal twang. Yeah, partners ko kya bole tabhi samajh mein nahi aata. It was that voice. So good to see you again. पहले तो मुलाकात हुई नहीं थी. अभी I think in the last 1 month we met twice.
Yes.
So happy to see you. How are you, man?
Likewise, and I'm happy to see you, and as a title of an article I was reading about you actually summed up what you've been doing, the man who's brought India together with laughter.
I'm so glad. What article is this?
This is one of the, articles on Google. I was just going through, just reading up about stuff. So it said the man who's brought India together with laughter.
Wow, that's incredible.
Which is true, which you've managed to.
And I feel very blessed, because when I started doing these videos during the lockdown,
yeah,
I honestly didn't think it would amplify and reach so many people from so many parts of our country. And B, I did not ever think that the same thing that I've been doing for my childhood would actually amount to an identity today. Nothing's changed. I'm just honestly telling you, living on an extended lease of my childhood. And I'm so happy that I've not had to change too much. I'm still that little child excited about doing every single thing that I do. And people appreciate it. Just makes me happy.
True. And, just be that way because, and I also say, never lose that child in you because, these days with all those therapies, get in touch with your inner child. I think somewhere we lose that child in us.
Ma'am, it's very interesting you say that because I've always said this to my friends and, to my family as well. I always say this. A lot of people keep asking me, especially now that I've been doing these interviews off late, for the film and stuff like that. The one question I always got was, so when are you going to Bollywood? When is your next level? When are you going to take the big step? I'm like, listen, when I was a child, I wanted to do a film. Like I said, I want to be on screen once. And I managed to achieve that. So to be honest, everything else that I'm doing right now is a bonus. And I'm just so grateful and happy that I wake up every day and I'm like, yeah, man, there's something to do. Because I know there are so many people who don't even have these opportunities. And I'd be so ungrateful to every person and to every opportunity that's coming my way by saying, I wish I had more, or I wish I could go somewhere else. So yeah, it's very important to keep the child in you alive. And I'm so glad that's one thing that I've consciously made sure stays alive in me.
Which is so true. And I got French Biriyani.
You watched it?
I watched it because I was told I have an interview with you. I said, let me then watch it. So that's what I did.
Did you understand?
Subtitles Zindabad, yeah.
Good. Did you like the film?
I liked it. And you know what is also interesting? Characters you created.
Yeah.
Asghar and humble politician Nagaraj have become screen identities.
Yeah.
That again, did you ever anticipate that?
So, Puja ma'am, the thing is when I started doing radio, I'm a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane and Sacha Cohen, right? And fan to a point where I send them messages every 3 days saying, I love you. Okay. Like I'm a psycho. Okay. I'm a psycho. I'm a stalker. So if they ever come out in the media and say, who's this madman from India? Please don't be shocked that it's me. Right. I wanted to make a Family Guy universe of my own. Unfortunately, animation is something that's very expensive and I don't have the money to do it. But I'm so glad that these little voices from radio have now turned into full-fledged characters and films. I'm happy that people from around the country and places have watched the film. And honestly telling you, ma'am, it's my second film. I'm taking baby steps in this movie world. Like I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, I wonder how people get their script sense right. I wonder how people know on paper if a film is great or not. Because For me, it's about performing. I love performing. I love just being in front of camera, being on stage, being behind a mic. Even a mobile phone camera just makes me happy. And then to see, like just whatever's happening, right? Like imagine for a voice to turn into a film. How many people can boast of it and say that here's something that actually happened to me? And this is all happening to me in one life. I'm ecstatic, to a point where I know there are reviews of the film that have come out who've trashed the film and said, oh my God, I
There's
don't.
been praise, yeah?
There's praise as well. I'm saying there are reviews. The praises are great, right? You don't take it to the head. That's fine. The brickbats as well. I've never taken them to the heart. But just to know that people, even in those reviews, have said he's acted or he's carried off the role well, just makes me happy because honestly, I did this in stage when I was in school, and now I'm doing films, and it's working out perfectly fine. I'm just happy. I'm just really happy.
And keep doing that. And imagine the blessings coming your way. The man who's making India laugh at the moment when everybody is literally, bickering and wants to trash the other, be it on social media, be it in any ways they know best.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is just so so when you asked me whether I understood French biryani, I did, because I also did grow up in the South.
You told me, Chennai.
So I got a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, following the language totally was a little difficult because you're doing this, watching, reading the subtitles. But it's a nice, weird scenario. Yeah. And also Asghar, the Asghar of radio, playing pranks. How is he different from the Asghar that we saw on screen?
So, the Asghar who was on radio was more shrilly in terms of the voice. Hello, mera naam Asghar bolko, kaise hain tumhe? It was that voice. But when I spoke with the director, I remember giving him options of just voices. And he said, Danny, the thing is for 2 hours now, 1 hour, 45, 50 minutes, whatever the length of the film is. He said, if you do this shrill voice, people are not going to be able to hear it carefully. So why, it's going to be hard on the ears. Why don't you give me a different version? So I used to do another character on radio called Salim, who had the more nasal twang. Yeah, partners ko kya bole tabhi samajh mein nahi aata. It was that voice. So then I started doing that on the Asghar that you saw on screen. And it seems like both went together pretty well. So I think it's just the voice that's different. And also, ma'am, what happens is, look, radio, for me, is creating a visual reference in your mind while you're listening to the radio. I'm creating a theater in your own mind. You're visualizing whatever you want. In a film, I am a part of somebody else's vision. And they're very different. But both have one thing in common, which is the idea of building something from the scratch. And I love doing both equally. So for me, being on radio was obviously fun, but I think over here, it was more directed because you're a part of somebody else's vision. And then you stay with that. Because I truly believe that movies are not an actor's medium, it's a director's medium. Full stop. It's a director's medium. And the director literally is playing so many things in his head at one point. That's why I try and usually I tiptoe around directors who are with me. And I let them do all the thinking because I can be a hands full when I'm on set. I'm quite noisy. I'm like one of those noisy children. You say, sit down, give him, something to eat or drink and just let me work. So that, yeah.
So you served us French biryani, but what made you say yes to this particular film?
I think it was the idea of, for the first time, I'll be very honest with you, yeah. Nobody has ever brought a script to me. Nobody. It was the first time somebody brought a script to me. And I turned into a happy puppy instantly and I went, let's do, right? And it was fun. Honestly, the movie was fun. And I know a lot of people today turn around and tell me, why don't you start doing drama? Why don't you do this? Do you think you should move into, slightly more mature spaces? I personally enjoy comedy. I really love comedy. And for me, a comedy film, which is a comedy of errors with some really colorful characters who are all mad in their own ways. to be a part of it, I thought it was pretty cool. And it turns out that it's done well for it's done well, and honestly credit to the director for just bringing together so many languages, such varied people, and throwing them on one set and getting all of us to act in the film. So to be honest with you, for me, what made me say yes was the fact that A, it's very cosmopolitan, the film. B, it is funny. It is funny. C was nobody had ever offered me a film before, so I got really happy.
And you know what was funny was when he sings, "Where is the charger? Where is my phone?" He says, "Phone is charging," and the cow is.
Yeah.
Great, so God. I mean, and you really captured the essence of, if somebody was to come and see, you will have myriad colors of India in one place, and many people.
And it's not the UB City Bangalore that we've shown. Because I feel like the UB City, the MG Road, the Brigade Road, and that whole CBD area has been exploited. We've seen it in enough films. There is another Bangalore, which is noisy, chaotic, but still in order. You know what I mean? It's still in sync.
Which is so true. And also, I was just, as before we were talking, I was watching the conversations that happened to the road accident. And what I like about your characters, they're very relatable. I mean, I could be sitting, as I said, I grew up in the South. These were uncles I could have met.
Yeah.
And the way they talk, coming from the forces, you come across people with varied accents.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder, how did you create these characters? And also that article said, if you see a man with a tissue box, a mop, and a plastic thing, it's Danish Sait. You made these kachara, as we said at home, you've made them into these cool props.
So to be honest with you, I was alone at home and I only had one phone. So I had to start using something else as devices that I could talk, right? Like as a phone, I had to use something else. And I walked in and whatever is in front of me, like I have a baseball bat right here. Right? So this became a phone. Yeah, this is Ramurthy uncle's phone. Now a lot of people don't understand why Ramurthy Avre, that character, uses a phone, and his friend, his homie, that other guy he speaks to. He's always talking to one other guy, right? He has a gun, right? In my head, these are two paranoid uncles who don't know when shit's going to go down, right? So they're just holding on to whatever device. I don't know. This is my phone. I'm going to whack you with it straight up. At the same time, you have that Chacha who calls it that red bag. He has a paintbrush. So he was probably working somewhere and he's taken time out to call. So I just started using makeshift stuff that was around me. This is my cat's catnip. I stole it from him. Can you, how do I explain this, ma'am? I'm 32. My cat is 7. I stole his catnip toy, yeah. Come on. How do you reason with someone like me? You can't, right? It's like...
I totally get you, because sometimes I'm actually told by people, grow up. I don't want to. I'm happy being 13 in my head.
My mom came home after a long time and she pulled these out for me. This is He-Man. She pulled out my He-Man for me and said, here, use this as a phone as well. And I was so happy. The idea is, look, I've grown up seeing all these people, and then to put them in conversations was a lot of fun. Now it was about breaking environments. It was about creating environments. So, when you do improv, man, that's one thing that they teach you. When you study improv in school. So when I studied improv in New York, they actually teach you how to create environments.
Okay.
So for example, the word is the color blue, right? What's your favorite color? Somebody in the audience screams out the color blue. Now it is up to me on stage to create a waterfall around me. I could have a shower. So I'm creating a waterfall, or I'm drinking a glass of water, or I'm fishing, or I'm looking at somebody going, did your mother use a lot of ujala on your shirt because your shirt looks blue? And that person could be wearing a yellow for all he cares, but he's going to treat it like it's a blue shirt.
Yes.
So you're creating that constantly, and it helps so much, because today when I do my videos, again, I'm just building environments, right? Like I'm building a car fight, I'm building a cricket match, I'm building a ball hitting an uncle's head. And I just feel like it's a lot of fun doing that, because it's just like, going to a beach and making a castle of your own.
So
and
true.
saying, I'm the king of my castle, right? It may not exist, but I feel like, yeah, for me, it's like playing with Lego toys, and I just love creating whatever I can.
Awesome. And you're also one man who manages to get his way around the government's decisions, understands what the government wants.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's just amazing trying to comprehend the speeches and the decisions taken is just hilarious.
Because, ma'am, see, sometimes it's very hard to make, comprehend what is happening. Like right now, I in fact yesterday woke up and I asked my domestic help. I said, "So is it a lockdown? Is it not a lockdown?" And I know everybody's thinking the same thing. At some level, all of us are like, "Khul gaya kya sab kuch? Open hai kya sab kuch?" None of us know is it open or not.
Which is so true. And I'm sure they're also modeled on characters you've met. So.
Oh yeah, lots of them.
Kindly to it, or they're like, "Oh, okay, I made it."
No, they're fine. I think they're all happy with it. I'll give you an example. My chemistry teacher, poor guy, his English wasn't great, but excellent teacher. God bless Swami sir. I got 95, I think, in chemistry in school thanks to him. God bless him. I call all my teachers. I called my physics teacher some days ago, Krishna sir. I speak to the principal of my school still, Mr. Nanjunda, and I love them, right? Because they encouraged me to be the person I am today. So I called Swami sir once, and he said something beautiful. He said, "Thank God you picked up my English and not my chemistry." Because sir's English was so all over the place, I would imitate him in school. And today, when I speak wrong English in my videos, honestly, it's years of conditioning. And it's great for someone so big. I think teachers are the greatest. For him to have such an open heart and say, "Thank God you picked my English and not my chemistry."
Another thing is, like, we listen to it, and it strikes a chord because people around you speak like that. Nobody speaks proper English.
Yeah. And I think language is no measure for intelligence in any which case.
So that's so important.
It's not. Because I feel like sometimes you go into the rural parts of our country, I think they're far more intelligent there because, they read more than I think people in cities.
I so agree with that. Yeah, especially this generation doesn't read at all only. Now somebody asked me to ask you, RJ, actor, comic, is there any other talent you've been hiding from us?
No, ma'am, nothing really. I think the other talent I have could work in Jumbo Circus.
What would that be?
And that would be driving a car and watching videos at the same time. My mother's petrified. She said she's gone from yelling at me, screaming at me, to throwing things at me, to giving up on me. And I have become a little more conscious now. I try now not to watch videos and drive my car, but I'm pathetic. So yeah. Also, I did something really strange once. I stared at a sun, like the sun, like the SUN.
You see those spots in your eyes.
No. So I'll tell you what happened. I stared at the sun, and I have this optical nerve that got damaged. Right? So as a result, now when I'm looking at you and when I look away, you carry with me. You know what I mean? My focal length, my focal shift takes time as compared to to a functioning human being. So it's a pathetic idea for me to drive the car, look at my phone, and watch the road. So I'm getting older and more mature. I'm trying to. That's my other talent, but it's useless. Please do not try it anywhere. Yeah.
And also your characters look an extension of you. They say when people have split personality, you have split personalities. Who's actually closest to you? Your alter ego.
My closest, I think, from what I've heard, I've been told I'm a little bit of a Ramurthy uncle. I've been told that by a lot of friends. They say I'm a little like Ramurthy uncle because they really think sometimes my friends, I turn really old. I'm giving them advice and I'm pushing them to do certain things and, like certain things are good things, obviously. Like I want them to go ahead. I'm somebody who's like very happy with whatever is happening around me. I'm very happy. So they feel like I'm this old uncle, technically, who doesn't have any grief in life.
The way it should be. And I really hope you never have any grief.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And also you spoke something something that people have been discussing is mental health. You spoke about it.
Yeah.
Because now, sadly, the conversation with all the name calling that's happening and people sorting out their own agendas, that's got lacerated. Do you want to say anything about it? Because mental health is an issue.
Sure. So since you've asked me to put light on this issue, I'm going to begin by turning the light on, right? So, ma'am, I think mental health is extremely important. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what strata of the society, what gender, what color, what race. It doesn't matter, because a healthy mind is truly a healthy body. I have gone through body pains for 7 years, ma'am. 7 years. I'm not kidding you when I say this. Every inch of my body, and I'm not lying when I say this, I'm not exaggerating it, would hurt me to a point where I would hate having my body, I would hate being within my own body. I have gone to a orthopedician, I've gone to a rheumatologist, I've gone to a neurologist. I've asked them to check me through and through to see why my body hurts. Finally, when I figured I was going through a mental breakdown, I went up to a psychiatrist and I said, this is my problem. I have body pain. Every inch of my body hurts. And they said it's because of the anxiety that you're going through. When you don't sleep well at night, you wake up feeling patchy because your body is going to hurt, because your body hasn't had rest. And imagine doing that for 6 years. It's a lot of pain. And the only thing that came to my mind was, there are so many young people out there today who are stressed with 100,000 things. Please go see a therapist. Please go see a psychiatrist. Because that's the only way in which you will find a solution to mental health problems. We as human beings barely understand ourselves, let alone understanding a fellow human being who's connected to us. You need a neutral view, because when you know you've paid money to understand nothing but yourself, you will focus and get done with it, one. Second thing is the fact that there is a science to living life. Life is not about waking up every morning, watching TV. It's not just that. There is a science to living it. There are conversations that make us upset. There are people that upset us. There are arguments that upset us. There are moments that make us extremely happy. We need to know how to live through those moments. And that will only come from a professional and not from people who you meet every single day in, day out.
So I agree with that. I agree.
You know, so my only thing about mental health is, till date, I go to sleep every night taking a Cipralex tablet, which is an antidepressant / anti-anxiety tablet, every night. I can't sleep without it. At the start of the lockdown, it started with me texting my doctor saying, doctor, please, I need to speak with you because the lockdown has started. I think I might lose my mind sitting at home. I need to go to therapy and I need to continue my medication. She said, let's get on a call. And I got my tablets. And I've managed to sail through this entire period because I've had a sane mind. I've had it together.
I agree with that. I so agree with that.
And I know that, sorry, I know I'm being very vocal about this. And
no, but you need to be.
Huh?
You need to be vocal about it. People brush it under the carpet, or they don't want to discuss it, thinking that they might be, people might label them, they might be judgmental. There is
sometimes even now when I meet people in the public realm, when I meet them, their first question is, so how are you now? Everything okay? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm fine. You sound like there's something wrong with you. Right? And I'm like, I don't say it to them, but I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Let's not make this dramatic. It's fine. My brain doesn't secrete or produce certain chemicals that yours does. If yours does, great for you, man. Mine doesn't. And I go to a doctor, I've induced it, and now we're in the same, sort of headspace. Forget the thoughts, forget the knowledge, forget the wisdom, that'll come with time. But it's very important to have a healthy mind. And my only request to anybody and everybody who's watching this particular, conversation that we're having right now, if you're feeling low, if there are moments you wake up and you just want to go back into bed, you don't feel like stepping out, you feel like doing the most mundane things is a huge task, don't sit on it. See a doctor. You will find a solution.
Or sometimes, to cheer myself up, I watch your videos. Honestly, I'm being honest, not because we're talking. They're just like, I was watching a road accident one, and I have come across these characters. Like, come here, somebody scratching himself and wanting to talk me, which is so true, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Who's your worst critic, though? There's a lot of adulation coming your way, but who's your worst critic?
My mother and sister. Yeah, very brutal. Actually, my friends are there too. There are a couple of friends, very brutal. I love them for that. I don't have any friends from the entertainment business. They're all from outside. They're all like brutally honest people who just say whatever comes to their, like, there's no filters. Like some of them watched the film and called me and said, dude, what was that second half? I'm like, I can't, it's not interactive. I can't change it. Now just shut up. Yeah. They're like, your acting could have been better. I'm like, how much more do you want me to do? So I feel like they're very honest. So yeah, but my mom and sister for sure. Like my mom, I'll read her message to you, okay? It's very funny. Hang on. I'll read her review to you, okay? It's very funny. 1 second. I'm just looking for it.
No, please do.
Yeah, where's my mom's review? My mom's review was damn funny. Word to word. Oh God, what a funny movie. The story could have been better, but loved few scenes of Simon and Asghar together. It'll do well. Movie wasn't long. That's good. Good night. Done. That's my mom's review.
Parents are like that, yeah.
I love it.
This is something I would expect from my mother. Sometimes I feel doesn't even watch what I'm saying. Your lipstick is a little too bright. I'm like, otherwise it's all okay.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Anyways, lastly, Sacha Baron Cohen, I just hope he does get in touch with you. So is he the person you want to collaborate with? I'm sure you're going to manifest that very soon.
I'll tell you, I sleep and wake. I feel like it's going to happen. I've been talking about him so much. I'm not kidding you when I say this, okay? Look, there's very little lies to me, okay? I'm not kidding you. Okay. Look up can you read what is the first thing on my search list there?
Yes, Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's the first thing. Also, after that, I'm playing a game called Last of Us. And I literally sat down. Just look at this, okay? I'm going to scroll up all his videos. Just look at this. It's in red.
Wow.
It's in red.
Wow.
It's in red. I've literally sat down. It's in red, red, red. All of these. I have sat down. You have no idea how big a fan I am.
I'm sure you're going to manifest that. That's what
I saw a round table that he did with Jim Carrey. He's sitting with Don Cheadle and a couple of comedians. Oh my God. Please watch it.
I will do that. I will do that now soon after this. I am going to.
Especially if you love Jim Carrey as well. I love Jim Carrey as well. But I don't know, man, there's something about Sacha. And I really wish one day I get to meet him because the brand of comedy that I'm doing with characters and this and that, he's a Mughal at it. Probably he's the reason why I do what I do.
Awesome. And I'm sure it's going to come true. So before we go, as Ramamurthy uncle, do you want to give us a message?
Yeah, my only message for all the youth. So kindly take care yourself. Wear a mask. And when you goes out, does not shake hands with people. Follow Indian culture and do a namaskar.
Thank you so much, Danish, and more power to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Nice talking to you.
As you always do. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.